Tyler Rake treads water again. Cold, quiet, and very much alive. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that you shouldn't count him out. Extraction 2 opens with him barely more than a ghost of the man he was, nursing wounds that could have ended someone less stubborn, floating off the coast as if the ocean itself is trying to hide him. He's got that same slow burn intensity. One look and you know he's thinking 5 moves ahead. But he's also dealing with a lot of hurt. It's a reset of sorts. A man who survived a massacre and is trying to figure out what life looks like beyond the job. Except, of course, peace isn't really in his job description. We've got Nick Khan in the corner of this story, too. Smart, driven, and the kind of woman who can make tough decisions without blinking. She's back in the merc scene, pulling strings and trying to move people where they need to go. When a new mission comes up, one that promises money, leverage, and a chaotic sequence of moral compromises, Tyler is dragged back into the mess. He's not thrilled about it, but there's a part of him that knows how to survive with a team and how to make the impossible look like an accident. That's his superpower. Reticence cloaked in violence. The job? Extract a high-value target's loved ones from a place you absolutely do not want to go. I won't spoil every twist, but the setup is delightfully simple. A family caught in the crosshairs of powerful men, a corrupt system that won't protect them, and Tyler being the blunt instrument everyone else tries to finesse around. From the moment he accepts, the movie becomes a feverish treadmill of planning, infiltration, and improvisation. They scout, they lie, they bribe, little chess moves that inevitably lead to the main board, where bullets and fists do the talking. What makes Extraction 2 worth watching is how it doubles down on what worked in the first film. Gritty, kinetic action, but now the stakes feel broader. It's not just a rescue, it's a race against a quicker, smarter set of enemies who know how to put pressure on a wound and make it burst. The antagonists are more organized this time, and they use the system, the law, prisons, borders, as weapons. That bureaucratic cruelty is almost scarier than the men with guns because it's methodical and legal enough to hide behind. Tyler hates that. He hates the pretense. He fixes problems with fists and rifles, which, to be fair, is a very particular brand of diplomacy. There are a few people who help move the plot along, and they stick. Yaz, who's grown into a darker, more capable figure since we last saw him, is the kind of ally who's loyal because he's seen Tyler's scars and knows how bad it could get. Saju and the other grizzled operatives show up with their own moral calculus. They're not saints, but you'd rather have them in a firefight than a politician. The screenplay keeps their banter tight. Small jokes, terse advice, and the occasional buried confession that reveals why these people live with so much violence. It's quietly human beneath the carnage. The first big set piece is pure extraction. Long takes, breathless pacing, and choreography that makes combat look like precision engineering. Tyler and his team break into places they aren't supposed to. Back alleys, compound roofs, a prison that feels like a machine designed to crush hope. The movie doesn't shy away from brutality, but it also gives the camera enough space to breathe, to let you register each hit, each misstep, every narrow escape. There's a particular scene on frozen water that's probably the film's visual standout. Tyler fighting on ice, the surface cracking, bullets and breath clouding the air. It's cinematic and dangerous in a way that sticks with you. You can tell they wanted one set piece that makes you hold your breath, and they nailed it. Even with the action volume cranked up, Extraction 2 makes time for quieter moments that matter. Tyler's rare conversations, half questions, half apologies, show a man who knows the ledger of his life is tallying up and he's trying to balance it in whatever way he can. When he has to interact with the people he's rescuing, there's this strangely paternal, exhausted tenderness to him. He doesn't want to be a hero. He wants to get them to safety and disappear. But people keep believing in him, even when he doesn't believe in himself. Not everything is grim. The movie throws in little bits of dark humor, mercenary banter that's almost gallows fun, a careless one-liner at an awkward moment, and those help humanize the characters. It reminds you these are people who survive by treating danger like a bad habit, and humor is the bandage they use to avoid seeing the bleeding. There are betrayals, naturally. Extraction 2 plays with trust the way a cat toys with a mouse. Allies turn out to have agendas, institutions profess neutrality while acting decisively against the family. That tension, who to trust and when, is the film's moral backbone. Tyler's choices are obvious in the moment: protect, retaliate, move. But the consequences ripple longer than you might expect. The movie is smart enough to show that every smash and grab has fallout. Families fracture, loyalties shift, and Tyler gets pulled into a situation where winning the fight doesn't necessarily mean fixing the lives he's supposed to save. What keeps the emotional core steady is the family at the center of the rescue. They're not cardboard victims. The film gives them texture. There's fear, yes, but also courage and small acts of bravery that add weight to Tyler's risk. When danger closes in, it's not just another mission, it's 3 or 4 living people whose lives will be very different if he fails. That's a good narrative trick. Tie the explosive action to human faces, and suddenly the explosions have meaning beyond aesthetics. There's a tense prison sequence, one of the movie's long, grinding beats, where Tyler has to go inside and play a different kind of game. It's claustrophobic, loud, and full of moral compromise. You watch Tyler navigate a place where rules are arbitrary, and the only real rules are survival and leverage. That sequence tests him in ways the open field firefights don't. It's also where the film shows a lot of its character work. Tyler's decisions inside the walls echo all the reasons he survived to begin with. Fans of John Wick-style choreography will appreciate the choreographed chaos. The stunts are brutal and beautifully filmed, often in single-shot styles that keep you close to the action. Director Sam Hargrave leans into practical effects and physical performances, which means the violence feels tactile. You see the effort, you feel the exhaustion. Extraction 2 doesn't glamorize pain, but it does frame it as something the characters use to get to the other side. Some people will call it relentless, others will say it's precise, almost balletic when seen from the right angle. Midway through, the mission goes sideways. Of course it does, and that's where the pacing shines. It doesn't rush recovery or the planning, it makes desperation feel real. Tyler improvises, and those improvisations reveal character. He's not just a soldier, he's a survivor with a surprising knack for empathy. He forms connections with people who should have no business trusting him, and those connections propel him forward even when logic says retreat. The villainy here isn't a single man with a mustache, it's a system and a network. Extraction 2 does a solid job of making the antagonists practical, ruthless, and sometimes bureaucratic. They weaponize law and territory and money in equal measure. That makes Tyler an agent of chaos, which is more interesting than having him beat a single overlord. The movie suggests violence is sometimes the only immediate answer to a crooked system, a morally complicated thesis, and the film mostly avoids preaching about it, letting viewers draw their own line. Character arcs converge in a finale that's both cathartic and efficient. There's a long, exhausting push to get the family across a border, with all manner of modern obstacles: checkpoints, snipers, drones, and angry men with too much vengeance in their bellies. Tyler's physical limits are tested, and he makes choices that remind you he isn't invincible, just very determined. The climax mixes big-picture stakes with intimate moments: a child's fear, a mother's resolve, a mercenary's quiet remorse. It's messy, and that's the point. Real rescue efforts aren't cinematic neatness, they're chaos knit together by stubborn people doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. At its core, Extraction 2 is a study of shades. Tyler is a man who does awful things for good reasons and good things for awful reasons. The film doesn't let him off the hook for the violence he perpetuates, but it does show why people like him exist in the first place. He's a product of a world that often fails to protect the vulnerable, and his answer is kinetic mercy: break things until they stop hurting. By the time the credits are close, after the obligatory dust settles, you're left with a few conclusions. The family is changed, scarred but alive. Tyler limps away into a future that looks uncertain at best. Alliances have shifted, and the world remains messy and complicated. There's redemption, but it's earned through grit rather than sentimentality. It's the kind of ending that recognizes pain doesn't melt away with a scene fade. It lingers, and so do the consequences of what these characters have done. If you're watching Extraction 2 for the action, you'll get your money's worth. Set pieces that escalate logically and visually, hand-to-hand fights that feel personal, and shootouts choreographed like dance. If you're here for character, the film gives you enough to care. A man trying not to be a monster, allies who are more than muscle, and victims who are anything but props. There's humor threaded through in that dry, mercenary way, small quips and awkward moments that let you breathe between explosions. It's not a deeply philosophical film, it's not trying to be. It's a popcorn spectacle with a conscience, rough around the edges, moralizing only when it needs to, and unapologetically designed to make you jump, wince, and maybe even cheer when Tyler pulls off the impossible. So, in short, Extraction 2 does what it promises. It turns the volume on what made the first one work, gives us tighter, smarter antagonists, and spends real time on the human cost of violence. It's loud, it's relentless, and it cares. Just enough. You walk away a little winded, a little thoughtful, and oddly satisfied that for once, the man who shows up to break the rules actually tried to fix something that mattered. And yeah, you'll probably be thinking about that ice fight long after the lights come up.